is emergency. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another match of round of 32 in OMLN. It is I, Adam McAville, back again for another commentary. This time we will be having Newson versus Zoobin. Pretty sure you guys don't need any, introduction with those two British players. That is a mainstay of the Mania World Cup team for quite a few years now. Now, I'm not commentating by myself. I'm actually joining with the lovely commentator from last round who commentated against Ravi versus Flowerful, none other than Sunapple. Hello, Sunapple.
Hello. How's it going? I'm really excited to see this match. Honestly, the last match was very interesting. It did end up 5-3, and this one is a very good one. It is a battle of UK with Newson versus Zoobin in the losers bracket.
Okay. Now, the last match was really intense already with both respective players, Ray and Flowerful from, if I'm not wrong, one of the best tournament players in their specific country, being Indonesia and France. Now we will be having something of a similar matchup, this time with Newson and Zoobin, both from the UK side, both played together in Mania World Cup multiple times from ever since 2020 or starting earlier, depending on how they perform. We will be seeing them matching up together after a long time, or maybe it's their first time matching up in a tournament setting, and it's a long note tournament, by the way.
Yeah, it is very fun to see, since both of these players are extremely great at Rice, specifically like technical Rice type, like FFR kind of maps. But instead, they're going to be playing a bit more LN. I do think Newson has been at least in my opinion, has been a bit more well-known in terms of LN capability. But I mean, Zoobin's also insane, so it's not too surprising to see them both be in this tournament. We will just have to see, as Bans and Protects will begin at some point soon.
Yeah, as we are gonna be waiting for both Newson and Zoobin to get into the lobby, let's have a little bit of background check on these two players. So, Newson and Zoobin both seeding is pretty close together, 56 and 41 respectively. Both their rise, as Sanapo said, is ridiculously good. They have played FFR for quite a while, and if I'm not wrong, I think they also touch a bit of Eterna. I don't know. I'm not in the Eterna scene. All I know is that these two players are ridiculously good at Rise. They've shown multiple times that they are a very main key component in the Rise team. And seems like Zoobin will be in the lobby already.
Yeah, we really are just waiting for one player, for Newson to be able to actually join the lobby, which it'll happen eventually, surely. If not, a win by default will be given, and yeah.
But yeah, as we wait for Newson to get into the lobby, let's take a retrospective of what they may be potentially protecting or banning. Now, I personally don't see Newson and Zoobin play too much long node. All I know is that the main thing they play is, well, Rise. So in terms of long node, I have no idea what each of these players have in their mind of what they should be protecting or banning. Maybe they would ban the coordination picks and go for the density picks, since it's more on the ricier side in terms of how it feels and plays. And ooh, Newson is now in the lobby now.
Yeah, so we will have a match on our hand. Nobody... We won't see a win by default at this moment, luckily, because that would have been honestly very, very disappointing. But we will see rolls come out as well. 90 for Zoobin, 44 for Nixon.
Yeah, thankfully we will not be having a forfeit. Whew, that was lucky. Let's not reenact what happened on yesterday, shall we?
Oh, did that happen? That's so great.
Yesterday,
I love it.
Yesterday, I wonder why, but that was 3 forfeit in a row, and I think that was during the afternoon UTC time, around 7 or 8 UTC approximate. There was about 3 forfeits in a row, and after that, there was no forfeit other than the one we had earlier today, which is, let me quickly scroll up. Yeah, other than Ketif versus Very Sour, that was a win by default for today, and that was the only one for today as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, especially in these earlier rounds, it is more prone to have some forfeits, as well as, I mean, it is sometimes just things come up, so sometimes you just can't play, and honestly, I don't think we should really be blaming these players for it. But luckily, we do have our match on this side. We are waiting for Zoobin's first protect. I don't know what they're going to protect. I hope it's going to be... I have no clue, actually. I don't know any of these songs with Math Pool either. Maybe Coordination 3, I didn't see that one.
Maybe, or they want to be a little bit spicy, go with the wildcard, specifically wildcard 1, please. We want to hear more of the customs. But since Zoobin's gonna be protecting first, he is seeded a little bit higher, but not too detrimental against well, Newson here. So we'll just have to see what his game plan is. Maybe, like you said, possibly the coordination pick just to throw Newson off. And yeah, it is. It's gonna be coordination 2. Chase me.
That is a bit interesting to see. Definitely, maybe just feeling a lot more comfortable on these more coordination type of maps. I feel like Zoobin's did very, very good at density, and we are seeing it. I'm not too sure how much the teams will impact this match, since I think I remember seeing the qualifiers being quite a bit more difficult than what we're seeing right now. So this is definitely just going to be basically an act battle, so I don't know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, but we will be seeing wildcard 3 off the board straight from the bat, and density 1 right off the bat as well, as both maps has been banned from Newson and Zoobin respectfully, and we will jump right into wildcard 1, the custom song. Let's get it, everybody. We don't see that every day. The custom being choose first.
That is very, very great to see. I do think it's interesting that Newson decided to vote wait, no, never mind. I thought Newson protected density 3 and then banned density 1. But I guess it makes sense. The bans and protects at this moment. But we will see wildcard 1. It's kind of great to see.
Yeah, I did play this map for audio in Illusion. It's personally really annoying to hack, especially with the wildcard genre of the maps we've been seeing. This is more on the weird snappings that we will be coming to see soon when the map starts. I did play the map, I think twice, and my accuracy was really bad. I'm not even gonna lie. So we'll just have to see what both Zoobin and Newson can do here.
Yeah, just starting us off, Newson having the slight advantage, though. I mean, in these early sections, it really just doesn't matter. Just because 200s will come out. I just knew from both players, I don't think we'll be seeing too high accuracies, like 99.9s, but probably closer to what the range that we are at right now, 99.8 to 99.7. And both players doing extremely well. Zoobin having this slight disadvantage at this quarter mark.
Yeah, starting to finish the first quarter of the map already. Newson is slightly having that accuracy lead, but it's not by much as we will be jumping more into the map. This map is about 2.5 minutes long, I think, if I'm not wrong, from the last time I played it. The hard section would be usually coming around after the halfway mark as we jump into the calm before the storm, or as I would like to call it. Newson down to 99.79% now, while Zoobin actually getting his accuracy slowly back up to 99.73-74% interchangeably. It's basically a 1 miss or 200 score gap as of now.
Yeah, I do think Newson has been finding a few 200s just randomly in this section, and as a result, their score leads have been getting closer and closer. We saw another one come out just then, and it's getting decently close, about a 5 or 600ths of a percentage. And with these 200s constantly coming out for Newson, it'll just make the lead smaller and smaller if Zoobin is able to continually stay consistent and not find as many 200s as possible.
Yeah, there's still just a little bit over a quarter left of the map. That is about more or less the same patterning you'll be seeing as of now. So if Zoobin is able to hold out on his accuracy and slowly get it back up while praying that Newson finds more extra 200 coming up, the lead can instantly swing, but we'll just have to see. Here comes the genre mix, but nobody choking too much accuracy there. Actually, Zoobin down to 99.68% now as we enter the last bit of the map. Newson still has the accuracy lead by 1% basically. I mean, 0.1%, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Newson's just been able to stay consistent throughout the entire map, and it's been very, very great for them. Zoobin struggling a bit more as the bursts came out. So that's going to be first pick and first win for Newson.
That is, if I'm not wrong, a breakpoint already. This is actually Zoobin's pick, and the breakpoint goes to Newson. Better ratio overall, and it's major 200 count differences as we also see here. 8 200 counts difference. In early game, 200 counts is way more important compared to the ratio game differences, as it basically balances it out, more or less.
Yeah, that's definitely true, but now it's time for Newson to pick. After getting the first breakpoint, I'm not too sure what I would do in this case. I don't think going for another wildcard is a good idea. I would think just maybe go for the same genre of your protect and go for a coordination map. Coordination 3, as I said at the start, I do want to see it because I really like that song. But I mean, going for Coordination 1 is also a good idea, as well as maybe one of the technical maps. I know Technical 1's probably a bit more of a coordination map, at least in my head.
I don't want to think about it.
But it seems like Newson actually left the lobby to take a glance at the map pool. I don't know if that's saying that he didn't practice or he just partially forgot the map pool. But ooh, we will be seeing Technical 2 Breaking Dawn being chosen by Newson, the first tech pick of the match.
Yeah, very, very interesting to see. I do hope that the 200 count from Zoobin isn't going to continue, because I mean, I feel like, as you did say earlier, the 200 counts are really the big difference in these earlier games. So if Zoobin is able to reduce those 200 counts as much as possible, they may be able to get back that breakpoint that they had lost.
Yeah, as of now, both picks has been chosen by, which is Technical 2 and Wildcard 1, both respectful types of skill set in long node. They are actually avoiding the skill set of their Protect right now. Zoobin hasn't chosen a release-oriented map, while Newson hasn't chosen a density map yet. Instead, they're going with another different skill set that they feel confident in, as jumping right at the map, Zoobin already found, if I'm not wrong, 1 or 2 200 count at the beginning, while Newson's holding onto that accuracy pretty strong right at the bat.
Yeah, it does look like Zoobin has been releasing a bit late on these more awkward and a bit kind of flam releases, and that is not a good sign since this map is filled with them as we get further and further into it. We have this little break section, but a 0.3 lead is really, really hard to come back from at this moment. We would have to see at least a miss or two from Newson.
Yeah, especially with a map this short, is, if I'm not wrong, just about barely 2 minutes. It's really short, so having this big of a accuracy lead already as we jump into the second half is very detrimental for Zoobin right now, as he found more 200 at this section, down back his accuracy to 99.42%, while Newson is still holding really, really strong on that 99.74%, not dropping any visual 200 as of yet, while Zoobin really needs to start getting his accuracy back up to even stand a chance to swing that score back into his favor, and pray that Newson finds a slighter break or massive 200 counts.
Yeah, it's just not great to see that Zoobin is taking these 200s in this break section, I would say. It's because I just know that they'll be taking a few more as we get into the next chorus. And here we are, we need to see Zoobin just increase their accuracy by a lot, and possibly something happen to Newson, because this 5k point lead is not very easy to come back from. As I said earlier, a miss will be needed from Newson, but it's looking like they're staying as consistent as possible throughout this last quarter, and they've just actually been increasing their accuracy since the start. It's not looking like they're going to give anything up.
They've been increasing their accuracy back up to almost 99.80% now, while Zoobin, yes, he's able to get his accuracy back up to 99.52% now, but it's just too late into the map already as he finds more 200 drop. Newson not finding a miss, and that means Newson will be getting his second point of the match.
Yeah, and I mean, Zoobin just took way too many 200s in that first chorus section. That was luckily Newson's pick, so this isn't another breakpoint. But now it's time for Zoobin to be able to find something that they feel confident in.
Yeah, maybe this time Zoobin will actually go with the coordination pick, because, well, he actually protected coordination too, and yes, he's going right into his protect. It's now or never into coordination to his protect against Newson.
Yeah, maybe just wanting to try to get something out there, some points on the board. It is definitely a good idea, since, I mean, having lost 2 points in a row is not great, especially at the start of the match. It's very, very devastating as a player.
Yeah, especially that your first pick was instantly went into the opposing opponent, and they are able to secure their own pick as well. But now we're going into the third map of the match, being Coordination 2 Chase Me. One of the, if I'm not wrong, shorter coordination map, just under 2 minutes. Basically, overall, we've been seeing the shorter side of the maps being chosen instead of the longer one, possibly wanting to capitalize on the shorter length of the map that Zoobin wants, so that he can possibly hold out just enough to go against Newson's current better ratio and 200 count. As of now, we've seen with the 2 maps that has been chosen and won by Zoobin. I mean, Newson.
Yeah, sadly Zoobin hasn't been able to do anything so far, but this map's just looking a lot closer in this intro. These accuracies are neck and neck, but we will just have to see how this continues as we go on to more of the anchors, because I think this is where a lot of people will be messing up on it, but we're actually seeing Newson take a few accuracy drops instead.
Yeah, Newson finding some accuracy drop right now, right? As of now, it's basically no one's lead. Zoobin has slightly lower accuracy as of now, but we're just jumping into the map. It's still interchangeable between these two. Newson's still barely holding out onto the 99.80% as Zoobin drops down to 99.75%. But like I said, this is a short map, anything can happen, and it's not too big of an accuracy lead yet.
Yeah, we did see Zoobin struggle a lot on the 3K section in the last map, and it's kind of looking like the same thing is happening right now. There actually has just been dropping ever so slowly, and Newson has stayed very consistent since the start. As we get into this last quarter, there's not much left. Newson's lead has grown to the 3K mark, and there's still a bit of time for something to happen for Newson, but I think it's going to have to be at least a very, very dirty area of just where you're getting a lot of 200s, or a drop where it's just devastating for Newson. But it's not looking like that's going to happen, and instead they're going to be taking another breakpoint and going up 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. This time, Newson has the higher 200 count, but due to Zoobin's ratio not matching on par with Newson, the score goes into Newson's side, 994k against 991k. Both really, really good score from both players, but Zoobin just not having the ratio to counter against the 200 count, thus making Newson having the third point of the match as we jump into Newson's pick next.
Yeah, and I mean, Newson's getting extremely close to match point at this moment, so we are going to be seeing Density 3, Newson finally going for a Density map. This was their Protect, so going back to back on Protects, I think Newson's probably very, very confident in this map, so I'm wondering whether Zoobin will be able to even get close to taking it.
Yes, now since this is Newson's pick, it's also his Protect being Density 3. Usually for Rice players, from my knowledge, Density side of maps feel way more comfier compared to the other skill sets due to how Density long node plays almost as similar as playing Rice in general. So him protecting Density 3 may be just the nail into the coffin, as we've been seeing that Newson actually has the ratio lead and 200 count lead as of this moment. As we jump into Density 3, both players holding out really, really well, especially Newson still holding on to that 99.90% beyond that, while Zoobin does drop a little bit of accuracy down to 99.70% now at the first quarter of the map.
Yeah, Newson definitely does seem to be extremely comfortable on this map. I mean, a 0.2% difference is pretty big in these earlier rounds, and I mean, being able to get to this 99.9 is just really, really difficult in general, and we're seeing them consistently stay here as we get to this first half. And Zoobin, even though they are at a decently high score, 99.7, it's just not enough right now. And this really is looking like the most dominant map that we've seen for Newson. So as long as they're able to clutch it out and just stay at this range to the end, it's looking like Zoobin has no chance of winning.
Yeah, Zoobin, despite still able to hold out his accuracy being 99.72%, the entire way off the map is still not enough against the dominant wall of Newson, still holding on to 99.90% as we enter the last quarter of the map, where the last density will really put to show if both players can hold it on their accuracy on the line. As we enter the end of the map, Newson doesn't seem to find any accuracy drop. Zoobin holding on to 99.72%. Really good accuracy. However, against a wall like Newson on the density pick, it will not be enough. A V1 double S from Newson himself, ending it off with a 996k against Zoobin's 991k choke. Both scores is really, really good.
Yeah, it really just is not enough to just 990k on this map pool for Zoobin. And Newson now on match point. Zoobin luckily does have the pick, so they do decide where they want to move to. But I mean, Newson has at least 1 or 2 picks, so it's going to be a tremendous comeback if Zoobin is able to make it a 2 tiebreaker at this moment.
Yeah, not to mention we still have Density 2 on Newson's secret pick. And I don't know why, but yes, Newson is seed 56. What happened to you in qualifiers, we will never know. Because all I know is the entire bracket is, well, a whole lot of mess of the matchup if I do say so myself. Some really strong players are already up to next each other that we did not expect. That's just to show how stacked the bracket is in general. And as we will be waiting for Zoobin's pick, I have no idea what other picks he's able to choose. There is the coordination still available, and possibly the wildcard 2. The technical pick, I feel, is too much of a gamble in terms of the release timing and unorthodox patterning with the technical side, while wildcard 2 still has the mix of release still implanted. Density 2 seems a little bit too risky, as is Newson's, well, amazing skill set, as we saw from that performance on Density 3 already.
Yeah, and I think Zoobin probably, not necessarily given up, but if they ask, what's the best song left? I'm going to respond Coordination 3. I know they won't hear me, but I feel like that's a sign that Zoobin doesn't really think that they have much in the pool. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. So we will see Wildcard 2 after Poity says, or Ref Poity says that Wildcard 2 is a good song.
Yep, it is a banger song after all. It's a Hatsune Miku song.
Oh my god, Miku. I love Miku.
Oh my god, Hatsune Miku. Fun fact, if you guys did buy the Miku Expo, I hope whoever did enjoyed their day for Miku Expo Asia, since if I'm not wrong, it is the first time Miku Expo has come to Asia in general. Basically, she's doing a world tour. God damn.
It's kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that, but maybe I'll have to check it out next time it ever happens.
Yeah, Hatsune Miku will never die. We do it all for the blue hair twin tail girl. And it seems like both players has ready up as we see the MP song come on, get started. Let's see how both players will fare on Wildcard 2. Why Do I, featuring Hatsune Miku, mapped by none other than Epic Man 2.
Yeah, and I don't know how this map is going to work out. We are seeing Newson actually struggling a bit more on this intro, but I mean, that's just generally how the intros are for map states. Will swing very, very quickly, and we are seeing back to normalcy with Newson having a big advantage.
Yeah, the accuracy swing actually went straight back to Newson's side. Yes, it's the beginning. Newson had a slight hiccup, but you know, accuracy drops can happen at the shorter ends of the map, since if it's the beginning, it's really impossible to visualize who's in the lead and who's having the better advantage. It really needs to wait until we're more later into the map, well, specifically beyond the 400 combo mark, as we are about to enter the halfway section of the map soon. Zoobin still holding on to the 99.66%, while Newson actually getting his accuracy all the way back up to 99.80% now.
Yeah, Newson doing really, really well at this moment. And at least Zoobin is still in the range where they can take this map, but as they take more 200s, it just gets harder and harder. Newson continuing to stay at this 99.8 range, 2 to 3k lead at this moment. Nothing is looking to change, and maybe Newson will be able to just sweep this match.
Yeah, fun fact, Epic Man, the mapper, is also from the UK. So coincidentally, we have both UK player playing a map by someone from the UK. Coincidental? I think probably, but nonetheless, it's good to see. So Newson still holding on to really strong act as we enter the last quarter now. Zoobin really needs to start getting his accuracy back up, or else it's most likely a lost cause to his end, as Newson's just capitalizing on his amazing accuracy right now. Differences of 0.3% approximately.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. 5k lead for Newson. I don't think they're going to be taking a miss in this last quarter if they haven't taken one already. Zoobin 0.2% away from Newson, just way too far away. And there we go, Newson taking the match 5-0.
Yeah, 993k from Newson with better 200 count and ratio, winning against Zoobin 5-0. If I'm not wrong, these two are in the loser bracket?
Yeah, they are. Somehow.
Somehow, with these kind of scores, they're in the loser brackets, guys. So that means, unfortunately, Zoobin will be kicked out of this tournament in round of 32, as we see Newson advancing from round of 32 and surviving one more week into round of 16, facing off their next opponent, who, let me quickly check on the sheet right here. They will be against Leon next week.
Wow, another match of old players will be interesting, but it'll be exciting to see.
Yeah, could you believe that Zoobin, a staple member from the Mania World Cup team, will be eliminated on round of 32? Yes, they're more prominent in Rise, but to think that someone who even made it in the World Cup team already is kicked out this early is just nuts to think about.
I guess that's just how Osumania Long No Tournament is. But with that being said, we have another match in, let me check the amount of time, like 30 minutes it seems. It'll be just Emilio versus Senzawa. I know you're commentating that, Adam.
Yeah, I'll be here.
I'm sadly not, so I'll see y'all later on.
Yeah, we'll be right back soon in roughly about 30 minutes with, like Sanapo said, just Emilio versus BBC Senzawa. Senzawa, also commonly known as Homo Akemi. So stay tuned for that in 30 minutes, as we will be back soon. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
I wish you were thinking